Hi everyone, I'm Carol from Practical Mystic, ready and eager to begin our new series, a study in numerology, focusing specifically on the individual date of birth, which will be placed in what is called the Pythagorean Triangles. I'll be covering just how to place your date of birth in the triangle today, along with additional numbers added to the chart so that we can analyze them when we do the triangle. But let me explain the theory and the concept behind the teachings and my own personal experience of working with numerology or working with the tarot or any of the occult metaphysical sciences. We come into this world for a reason. I think everyone would agree on that. And it is said from a spiritual evolutionary thought process that we choose our parents, our teachers, the time and place of birth, even our name and the exact time that we, as an incarnating soul, are going to enter in this particular lifetime. Now, numerology is just one of the tools that gives us a window into the understanding of this process. Specifically, the personality and all the dynamic challenges, gifts, opportunities that lie within. Each number has its own particular aspect, quality, and characteristics. This energy is most often called a vibration in numerology, but I like to call it a cosmic force because it's that impotence, that cosmic energy that sometimes gets us out of the comfort zone, because some of these numbers are lessons. Some of these numbers are things that we shy away from or don't want to acknowledge or own. And we'll discover that when we do this particular Pythagorean triangle and everything that it can reveal. Now, the information and knowledge that I'll be sharing with you in these series is certainly based on the books that I've read, the classes I've attended, but more personally, the experience learned while I was teaching and also using numerology as a tool for my clients, my friends, and of course, my family. It's now been approximately 37 years of continuous use and practice of numerology. So with that said, I want to share with you my greatest lesson from what I've experienced, and that is, as I was teaching numerology, I found that each person, each student innately knew the meaning, the vibration, the energy of the numbers that they were born with. And the more that they used it, the more that they allowed that intuitive flow to be expressed, whether or not it agreed with a particular meaning. When it was all put together, it made sense. So numerology speaks of intuition. Numerology will ignite your intuition. What you need to do is just practice to learn the basics, to coordinate all the numbers, understand what it is that your life lesson is trying to teach you. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin putting our numbers in the Pythagorean triangle, also known as the Star of David. And I do have one here as an example. Let's move these things out of the way. And there it is. So let's go ahead and put in the numbers. I'll show you how that is done. It's very simple. You are going to take your date of birth. And the example that I'm using here is June 12, 1974. So get your date of birth, make your six-pointed star, and work with me. Of course, most of you out there are going to be born in the 19th century. So the first thing we do is we look to the left-hand corner, the bottom of the star, and that is where the number 1 is going to enter. So we're looking at this date of birth here, 6/12/1974, and there are two number 1s, so we're going to place them here. the 2 ones. The next number is 2. Of course, the month or the day of birth is the 12th. So there's our 2. The next number we look for is a 3. My example does not have a number 3. If you have a number 3 in your date of birth, put it in here. Since I don't, I'm just going to put a line indicating that there's a void. There's an absence of that number. The next number we're going to look for is number 4. We have one in the year 1974, so I'm going to put it right here on the bottom of the inverted triangle. The next number we look for is number 5. This example has no number 5. Please look to see if you have a number 5. Place it in the center of the 2 interwoven triangles. For me, I'm going to put another straight line indicating that this example, this individual does not have a number 5. The next number after 5, of course, is 6. It's at the top of the upright triangle and born in June. Absolutely, it is the 6th month, so I'm going to put my 6 there. The next number is 7. That's at the bottom right-hand side of the triangle. And of course, being born in 1974, that is going to give our example a 7. The 8 is void in this date of birth. We're going to add a line across. And then lastly, as I said earlier, anyone born in the 19th century is assured a 1 and the 9, and that's going to be on the top part of the bottom of the inverted triangle on the right-hand side. So now you have put your numbers in the Pythagorean triangle. What I'm going to do now is talk about the secondary numbers that are included in the chart analysis, and I'm going to walk you step by step and fill in this area here that I've written down that you may want to put down in your notes. We're going to add the life path number on the bottom, the date of birth. If there were any zeros in your date of birth, you're going to check it off and put what number it is, whether that was a number 10, a 20, or a 30, or just a simple 0, born in 1960. That is a 60. And then I'm going to discuss and help you find what is your benefit number. So let's put this to the left for now, and let me go ahead and get the information sheets that I have provided. And if you want one, all you have to do is email me, and I will go ahead and make sure that you get this this information that I'm outlining. Now I'm going to stand up here very quickly. I want to make sure that this is on your monitor and you're able to see it properly, so nothing is being missed out. And that looks pretty good. Okay, I could move that a little more. Here we go. Okay, back to my seat. And what you see on this sheet is the personal grid information. That is what I'm referencing here on the left-hand side. And of course, you're going to put the date of birth, June 12, 1974. Those numbers are going to be entered in the Pythagoras triangle. We just did this. That's the first step. And then the second step is, under the secondary numbers, we're going to put the life path number, which is the total number of your birthday. Many of you already know what your life path number is. For those of you who don't, this is how you find it. You take your year of birth. Underneath that, you put your month of birth, and then lastly, your date of birth. You do very simple arithmetic. You add the columns down. You're going to get 4 numbers. Those 4 numbers you are now going to add across one by one as shown in my example. So we have 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 2. That number is 21. Life path numbers must be reduced to a single number unless It is one of the three master numbers. They are 11, 22, 33. We will go in depth to those later on in future series. For now, what I want to bring to your attention is, yes, this individual born June 12, 1974, has a life path number of 3 because we're going to add up. We have to reduce it. We're going to add up 2 plus 1 is 3. But it is a 3 that has been constructed out of a 21. We can also get a 3 out of a 12. So here on our analyst chart, our life path number is 21-3. Now the books that you are going to read and purchase are going to just give you life path numbers 1 through 33, 1 through 9, and then the 3 master numbers. They're not going to go in unless you read additionally in a numerology books that takes apart how numbers are created, a little more in-depth, intermediate way of finding numbers. What I want to bring to your attention is that there is a difference in that life path number 3, whether it is made from a 21 or a 12. And you do this with all double-digit numbers. The 21, the energy of the 1, whatever that meaning is, and we're going to say that it is inventive, it is masculine, it is a odd number, it is assertive, and it is sometimes representative of the ego and the individual. All that energy works through the number 2. Therefore, it empowers the number 2 because number 2 is feminine, it's receptive, it's nurturing, it includes, and it isn't outgoing like the 1 is. So the 21-3 individual life path number, when they with all the energy of what the 3 is, when they need to be a little bit more assertive, that 1 is going to come in quite handy. All right, now let's look at a life path number 3. Here we have the 2 working through the 1. The 2 softens everything that I've just titled for the 1, the ego, the inventiveness, the individuality. It isn't as forceful because the 2 energy, the cooperation, the oddness, the odd numbers are always trying to sometimes break down, pull apart, and then restructure them. So here the 3 is a little less forceful. So I want you to understand that not all numbers are created equal, and understanding how your life path number, which is the most important number in numerology, you cannot change it. You were born with these numbers. Understanding this concept of how it was created, it will help you to identify more of characteristics, personalities, challenges that you have in your date of birth. The next is the day you were born. And here, of course, we know that this individual was born on the 12th day. We want to put that in your chart as well. And what that means is, when you find the 12th day, what day of the week was it? Well, it was Wednesday. Of course, I have an ephemeris, so I can look up the date June 12, 1974, and it'll tell me it's a Wednesday. You can find that if you don't have an ephemeris. If you have an astrology chart, you can look to see, it'll tell you what day you were born. So that needs to be put by the number that day of the week represents. We know that Sunday's the first day, Monday's the second, Tuesday's the third day of the week, and here we are. We're born on a Wednesday, and that is the fourth day, and the planet that Wednesday is named after is Mercury. So here on our chart, where we have the day of birth, we're going to put number 4, and then we're going to put Mercury, because that is going to be very instrumental when we look at the other numbers here and how they cooperate, oppose the other numbers in the Pythagorean triangles. Okay, then I go and talk about 0. Now, of course, our example doesn't have a 0. So let's talk a little bit about those of you who have a 0 and the meaning behind it. For me, it is a symbol of eternity. It's a gift, and many numerologists believe that if you have a 0 in your date of birth, you are an old soul. There are some numerologists that are more scientific in their approach to the numbers, and when they do the life path number or put the numbers in a regular grid, they don't take into the account the influence or the energy of the 0. I and many other numerologies do. I tend to be more occult and use the mystical side of numbers, and I find that the 0 gives and takes away power depending on its placement in the number. And I'm using an example of a number that has 3 digits to show you how it can give and take away the power. Number 106 has a 0. The 1 number 1, is amplified and magnified, because when the 0 is before the first number, going left to right, this is the first number, the second number, and the third number, it amplifies, it magnifies the energy of the number that it represents. So this is a very strong number 1, related to the sun, the ego, energy, individuality, inventiveness, forcefulness, exertion, stamina. But it weakens the number following it, which is number 6. Okay? So it can give energy, but it can also take away that energy of that number that it is working with. Therefore, those of you who are born on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th of any month, the number before the 0 is empowered by its meaning and placement in the grid, giving it greater movement towards perfection in order for the individual to succeed. So here on our chart, of course, there are no 0s. So I'm just going to put a blank here. There are no 0s for me to consider, to take into account when I'm doing the divinization for this chart, for this individual. And then lastly, what you see written here is the benefit number. This is a number that also has to do, and we need to find it by using the life path number. Now, I also wanted to bring to your attention that the life path number is also known in some books as destiny number, and also the life lesson number. So what exactly is the life path number? It is the sum total of your date of birth, which we did here, which for you that didn't know, we figured out over here. But in numerology, it is those lessons, those when I say lessons, I mean that you have the ability in the number to master whatever it is you chose to learn here. Those are your lessons. But many times, the personality self has other pleasures and desires. So your life path number is almost like the guidepost that is telling you, this is what you signed up for. This is the energy we're giving you. These are the gifts, and here are some challenges. But you are wishing to master them in this lifetime. The benefit number is finding the lessons that you learned well in the past lifetime, which applies and now will assist you in this present life. So this number is very important, and knowing it, you can use it to use its gift. It's a tool, and everything that it stands for to better achieve and be successful this lifetime. It is very simple. As you can see, you take your life path number that you are here learning this lifetime. This individual is here, and their life path number is number 3. So you go down the column, life path number 3, all of them you subtract the number 9, the full cycle. And your benefit number for life path number 3 is a 6. So here you are going to write down that the number 6 is an asset. And if you already have 6s in your chart, then this is a secondary number that we're going to evaluate and take into effect to understand the chart more fully. So here you are, friends. You can, again, ask for this and have a copy, or you can take a screenshot. So what's additional information that you will find as you work with this, again, it's a simple subtraction. But when you subtract 9 from 9, you are going to get a 0. The individual that comes back with the life path number 9 has already completed a full 9 cycles. Therefore, this lifetime, you are now beginning on a higher plane. So you don't get an individual benefit number. Okay, you have graduated, you have the knowledge. For those of you who have a master number as your life path, this is quite interesting. Of course, we're going to do what we are, how we obtain the benefit number. We're going to subtract the number 9. So we have the 3 master numbers, 11, 22, and 33. We're going to subtract 9. We're going to get a 2. So the benefit number is 2. If we take away 9 from 22, it's 13, and 9 from 33 is 15. Of course, we've got to reduce those. Remember, numerology always says reduce to a single number from 1 to 9. But what's interesting is if you take 11 and you do reduce it, by that I mean add 1 and 1, you get a 2, the same number that is if you subtracted it. So the 11, 2 is the energy, and the same is true for the 22. We add the 2 and 2, we get a 4. You add the 1 and 3, you get a 4, the 22, 4 energy. And lastly, 33, you add 3 and 3, you get 6. You add 1 and 5, you get 6. Now, the master numbers are not always able to operate on its highest vibration. The gift for these individuals is the ability to operate on the reduced number of the life path. So, it isn't like they're getting this benefit number for the life path numbers who are master numbers, because in numerology, numerologists will break down these numbers: an 11-2, a 22-4, and 33-6. You will see those being written because it's very, very trying and difficult to maintain that higher vibration of the 11, 22, and 33. Many people will vacillate between operating on their life path number 11, sometimes 2, and the same is true for the 22 and the 33. In all my years of working with numerology, there have been few and far between 33 master numbers individuals, and their stories seem to determine that they would have to really detach from society in order to obtain and to do the service that is required by the number 33. Now again, we will study these a little bit more in later videos, but I did want to share that with you right now. Okay, so you have these two. We have our Pythagorean triangle where all the numbers are. We went ahead and put that date of birth in the Pythagorean triangle. And then lastly, friends, I wanted to show you what you probably will be working with as you progress. You can use this type of paper, this graph paper. I think that sometimes is helpful when you're making the Pythagorean triangles. But this is something that you may want to do when you're doing yourself, maybe your spouse, your friend, or children. And it's a quick reference point. So I wanted to share that with you right now. That's going to wrap it up. I'm going to put these back for those of you who want to take a screenshot. And again, I would love to share and hear what you have to say, what your comments are. Any questions, friends? If you have a question that you feel is personal, please email me and I will answer that. But I think that if all of us ask questions or share information in the comment section, other people who are taking these series, these classes, can ream information and learn. It would be like in a workshop where people ask personal questions and we all learn from the answers that someone would give. So again, I'll put my email address in the description box, and if you want these, please let me know. I'll email them to you. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.